there's one guy that when you look at it, I think he has to have a breakout year, and it comes down to Cedric Tillman to me. Cedric Tillman showed some signs last year throughout the season. I think he showed a few flashes. He did get a concussion, and with that concussion, he was out for the remainder of I believe it was the last 7 games of the year. A guy that showed some flashes during the time period when Joe Flacco was there as well. And I think he's a guy that if you could get 700, 800 yards from him, maybe a few touchdowns, 5-6 touchdowns from him, I think there's a situation where Cedric Tillman having a year that people didn't expect to have such a year can put the Browns in a position to do something offensively where I think that they may be limited. Right now, you got Deontay Johnson, who has not been in camp. I don't know why he ain't in camp. I talked about Myles Garrett and was joking and said, listen, why does Myles Garrett have to be in camp? I was not talking to Myles Garrett. I was talking to Deontay Johnson. He's a guy that should probably be in camp, catching footballs and doing something to kind of compete I think basically get his career back on track. But when you look at it, who do you have? You have a guy that technically is somebody who you would say, hey, if that guy has a decent career, if he has a decent season this year, the Cleveland Browns can win a couple more games than I think they would be able to win.
It's going to be a bounce back year for my boy Martin Emerson Jr. MJ.
Your man.
MJ. Like, what did you think what I was gonna say? You thought something else was coming this way? Listen.
Your man's MJ Emerson, bro.
I ain't gonna lie.
Nice little number. His number look good. His number clean. I don't know though.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I really do feel like MJ gonna have a bounce back season. I think last year was humbling for him, for real. You know what I mean? Like, I think just being exposed what his weaknesses was, I think it made him come back and work a little bit harder. But to me, MJ was trending towards a top 15, top 10 corner heading into the 2024 season. And, he regressed. So it's up to him in a contract year to come out, ball out, be ready to go and make some plays. And I think that if he can come out and just prove that he deserves a bag and can secure that number 2 corner spot next to Denzel Ward, I think it'll go a whole long way of helping the Cleveland Browns have some success.
All right, man. Listen, we at the end of the show, it's time to dive into some of these super chats, some of these comments. Let's get to it. Where's this smoke at? Where is this smoke? I should have put this on. There you go. Put that on right there. Let's get to. Here we go. Let me move this out the way so y'all can see. We can comment on this. Get to it. There we go. As a Cleveland Browns fan, I'm always the butt of the jokes when we talk NFL with my out-of-town friends, but I have no Cleveland slander in my presence unless you are Browns fans. What up, fam? What up, P. Rothstein? Hey, listen, at the end of the day, you got to think about this, man. Understand this. Your team got took. They got new uniforms and then went to the Super Bowl and won. The Pittsburgh Steelers laugh at you all the time. They joke and clown with you, right? You Cincinnati Bengals, they ain't been that good, but at least they've been to the Super Bowl. The Cleveland Browns fans got a lot of pride, bro. And at the end of the day, all we want to do is win. And we be getting clowned all the time, P. Rothstein. And at the end of the day, sometimes, listen, Earl is taking things into his hands. He's used, listen.
I feel him though, listen. If you a Browns fan, cool. Like we can have those conversations amongst each other. Like, yeah, we know what's up with us, man. But Browns fans are sensitive. They ain't trying to hear that noise from somebody who don't know nothing about what's going on around here.
Let me get to this. Where we at? Let me go to the top. Let me get to the top. Popcorn. Phil. Shedeur gonna have the locker room and the fans behind him so heavy. You can't stop this now. Mahomes didn't start the first year in the NFL. Shedeur fans acting like he's ready or not. He is not. Mary S. is not just part of the fan base. Your reporters are posting misinformation, so we will continue to speak up whether you like it or not. We don't care that Ohio, this Cleveland Browns team. So what?
Okay, so don't care, like whatever. At the end of the day, y'all might not like everything we say or how everything we gonna do about it, but the fact that y'all are Shedeur Sanders fans, guess what? Y'all gonna tune in to every single thing we do. Y'all gonna read every single thing we write. Y'all gonna listen to every single thing. So it is what it is. Like I think we try to welcome y'all with open arms, but y'all too stubborn and too silly and too goofy to realize that's what's going on. I think all Cleveland Browns fans are saying is you could be a fan of Shedeur Sanders, or you could be here for 12, but just chill with the disrespect towards the city and the team. That's all they're saying. It ain't really that hard. It ain't that complicated.
Doesn't matter who starts. It'll be a miracle if they win 6 games. Kenny Lanzo, no, is media in Cleveland like Mary Kay asking about him and the fans like he was a cult leader, and he told that they have their own mind, they stand on their own principle. I can't control that though. Now, here's what I will say. I mean, here's the thing. People do ask questions and be like, why? I don't understand this question. Why are you so popular? I don't get that. Like, that's kind of wild. I get the fact that people may not understand that people have fans, but at the end of the day, like when you're asking somebody, why are your fans? Why do you have fans? He's like, dude, I go to work, I go do my thing. You know what I think the thing that's lost in the whole situation is Shedeur don't even say nothing. All he does, he's going to practice. He's going to practice. That's all he's doing. And I think that gets lost in translation a lot, is the fact that there's a lot of things going on between the media and fan bases. And it's like, all right, well, at the end of the day, this dude is coming to work. This dude is coming to get it done. And at the end of the day, like I've always said, it's about what you do between these football lines. And
I think the noise is going to always be on social media, though. Shedeur Sanders, like, through this entire process, man, I can think of 4 reporters that I talked to that cover the Colorado Buffalo in person. And everything that we've seen from Shedeur Sanders since he's been in Cleveland, it's the same thing that he did in Colorado. It's the same thing that when he was at Jackson State. This is how this young man has been groomed throughout his career. He's quiet. He put his head down. He goes to work. He studies hard. He works hard. He's a good leader. He trains. He does everything that he needs to do to prepare himself to go out there and be the best quarterback he can for his team and to be a leader. And that's what made me excited about Shedeur Sanders being a part of this team. One, you want somebody that's confident in themselves and their own ability. You want somebody that work hard, and you want somebody that's willing to go the extra mile and do the little things that every other player is not willing to do. And I think that he comes with all those unwritten intangibles, not to mention the accuracy, not to mention the football IQ, being able to read a defense. Like, this dude, to me, is the total package. And I think, like, I know for me, I'll be cheering for him extra hard because I felt like some of the national media was going like a little too hard on his character when all we've ever heard was good things about his character.
Look here, and let me just, because I just keep it real. I tell a lot of people about a lot of situations, and I say, look, you look at it. And I try to explain to people out there why it's like that. And what I do in my blogs is I try to hold the mirror up and say, listen, this is what the reflection of what people are saying. There is a segment of the people that support Shedeur Sanders that feel that he was unjustly victimized when it came to his character. They said, and a lot of people get mad about anonymous things and anonymous things being said, and on top of that, being pranked after it, and then on top of that, getting dropped in the draft. As far as Shedeur is concerned, he's been cool about it. He's been great about it. He's trying to move on. But one of the best things that I think we can do, as well as the people that are outside, if you're rooting for him, if you're rooting for the Browns, if you're rooting for whatever, take his lead. He's like, yo, it ain't a big deal. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take it in stride. I'm gonna make it work, and I'm gonna do the best I can with my opportunities. Right? He hasn't been divisive. He hasn't been dismissive. He's been a great teammate. He don't think about it, and he keeps it pushing. you can do two things at once. You can root for Shedeur Sanders, right? And you can root for the Cleveland Browns. You can root for Shedeur Sanders and want to see him do well. And you can also say, listen, I want to see the team play well. And I think one of the things that we have to do is you have to divide the situation. And I get it. Some of the stuff gets me hot too. Some of the
but
stuff
you know what though,
report,
G, we can push narratives if we want to as real. So like, let's just keep it a buck. So primarily, like, I'm one of the producers of the show.
right?
And when we take the 2-hour show and we cut it up into individual clips, if you go back and you watch damn near every Canva thumbnail of Shedeur Sanders from the time he was drafted up until recently when we got new pictures, I always made sure that I had a picture of Shedeur smiling, picture and Shedeur engaged with other people, because I can't really speak to how it's going to turn out on the football field yet, but I can speak to what I know based on the people I talk to about his character. And so on our platform, you gonna always see Shedeur being painted in this light of somebody that, you know, helps people, that's generous, that's kind, that's smiling, that's happy, that's energetic. And so, like, if you ever went to our channel and you seen that, that's why we put that out there like that. You know, not everybody is coming with this narrative of trying to depict him in a negative light, you know, and especially like where we come from. And so, like, yeah, it is triggering, and yeah, it will piss you off, and it will get you a little hot because you understand, like, the math don't math when it comes to certain things. If a lot of these trusted and respected NFL draft experts and analysts had this young man rated as a top 30, top 40 player, and then he goes 144, automatically people are going to assume and lean towards, okay, this has something to do with things that didn't have to do with football. And when you start hearing it being about his character, it didn't add up to every reporter that we had on our show or every reporter that I talked to on 92.3 The Fan. It didn't add up with who Shedeur Sanders was as a person. And so to hear people that was trying to tear him apart as a person, I just thought that was a little odd and unnecessary.
Yeah, look, and you know, some of the things, and the way I always look at it is look, I said this, I was like, look, he fell to the 5th round. I'm glad he fell to the 5th round, selfishly, because there's a lot of people that really wanted Shedeur Sanders in the draft, and they wanted him at 2 or 33, and we feel like he's going to have the same level of energy. But at some point in time, right, at some point in time, it becomes about the thing in front of you. And the thing in front of you is the opportunity to continue to play and the opportunity to continue to get an opportunity to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns and lead us where we're trying to go. A lot of it is at some point in time, if you a Shedeur Sanders fan, or you a Cleveland media member, or you a Cleveland Browns fan, at some point in time, you're going to have to leave the 5th round to go, and we're going to leave the NFL draft alone, and we're going to have to actually just lock into what really counts, and that's the games, how we playing, and getting these dubs and getting these wins. And for me, that's what I'm about. I'm about
Think
the
about
games
that, though.
and playing.
Think about it. One of our best players since we returned in 1999 was undrafted.
Josh Cribbs,
Yeah.
undrafted.
So